Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this super cute elephant cake. So let's get started. I have two 7-inch cakes that I've cut in half, and I'm going to be filling those with chocolate buttercream and Swiss meringue buttercream. I'm using my small offset spatula to make sure my layers are nice and even, and then once my cake is stacked up, I'm going to be applying a thin layer of my Swiss meringue buttercream all over the outside to lock in those crumbs, and then I'm going to pop that into the fridge for about 25 minutes. Once my cake is chilled, I'm going to apply my final ice, so I'm being quite heavy-handed in this step and making sure there's a nice thick layer all around my cake. Then I'm going to take my bench scraper and work my way all along the outside of my cake until my sides are nice and smooth. And then all that buttercream that accumulated on top of the cake, I'm going to use my spatula to pull that into the center. Then I'm going to put my cake back in the fridge to chill, and I'm going to start on my fondant. I've dyed it like a cornflower blue color. I'm going to roll that out onto my cornstarch surface, and I'm looking for about 1/8 of an inch thickness. I'm picking that up with my fondant roller, and I'm going to drape that over my chilled cake, and then using my hands and my fondant smoother, I'm going to work all the air out from underneath the top, and then just smooth down the sides, pulling out the skirt until I reach the bottom. Using a pizza cutter or a very sharp knife, just trim away the excess and then go over the entire cake one more time with your fondant smoother. I'm going to start on my elephant topper, and I have some gray fondant for this. You could also use some gum paste, and I'm going to be rolling that out into a fat teardrop shape. For the head, I have more of my gray fondant, and I'm going to roll that into a ball and make sure all the seams are worked out of it. And then just tapering off one edge of that ball until it kind of pulls out the trunk. Then I'm just placing that against my counter and kind of flattening the front where the eyes are going to go, and just doing the last little tweaks on the shape of the head. So once you have these two shapes, you're going to use a skewer to attach the body to the cake to make sure it's nice and snug, and just leave a little bit on the top for the head to pop onto. For the legs, I'm rolling out this snaky shape and just tapering it off so that one end is a little bit thicker. And I'm just going to place 2 of those on either side of my body. I'm doing the exact same thing for my arms. I'm just rolling them out a little bit longer and then tucking the tops right against my skewer so that they're covered when I put the head on. I want my elephant to be holding on to his balloon, so when I add the head, I'm just curling the trunk around so that I can stick that skewer I have right through it. Then using my X-Acto knife, I'm just adding some lines onto the trunk to make it look a little more elephant-y. With my fondant tool, I'm marking 2 holes where I want my eyes to be, and then I'm just filling those with 2 small little black balls of fondant. For my ears, I'm rolling out more of my gray fondant and then using my cutter to cut out 2 circles. Then using a little bit of water, I'm just attaching those to the back of the head and just kind of playing with them a bit until they have the right look that I'm going for. I want to get a better sense of where my balloon's going to sit, so I'm putting my skewer through the trunk and into the cake. You could also use floral wire for this to make it look more like a balloon string, but I like the way this looked and it's a lot more sturdy and it was just easier for what I was going for. For his little party hat, I'm rolling out more of my blue fondant into a cone shape and just pressing the base of that against the counter while I turn it so it will be more flush when I put it on his head. And for the balloon, I'm rolling out a ball of my blue fondant and then just shaping it into more of a balloony shape. Pop that party hat on his head, and I also put the balloon into my skewer and added that little bottom piece, but I did take that out in the next step just so it could firm up a bit. I have this dark navy blue fondant and I rolled out a little ball for the end of his party hat, and then a long snake of my white fondant to go around the bottom. And then using my fondant tool, I'm just kind of giving it some more texture to make it look like a fluffy party hat. And once the balloon was set up, I added that, and this is what he looks like so far. He's so cute! For the elephants going along the outside of the cake, I have the stencil that I cut out for myself, and I will attach the link to the picture that I used below. I cut out a bunch of each color and then just placed them all around my cake so that they were kind of butt to trunk. I did the exact same thing for my ears, and then I kind of just switched up the colors, putting gray on the dark blue elephant, blue on the white, and then white on the gray. For the last little detail, I just rolled out these tiny little white balls into fat teardrop shapes and attached them for just little itty bitty tusks. And this was the final result, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.